My dear darlings, welcome to a brand new series. In this series, we will learn how to build simple scenes and how to move inside them. I'll start this episode by showing you how to use ProBuilder to create a basic tile system which can be used to assemble various types of buildings by just snapping pieces together. This system can be modified or expanded to accommodate other kinds of objects, such as furniture, vehicles, and whatever thing that can be built based on blocks. Also, the concepts and skills you'll learn here, with practice and time, will enable you to modify tile systems made by other creators. So, let's get right into it. Here we are on Unity 2020.1, which is still in alpha at the moment of recording this video. We have an almost blank project. We only have a script that implements an autosave feature. So, whenever we hit the play button, our scene will be automatically saved. For this project, we've also installed the following packages: the new input system, ProBuilder and ProGrids. These are the elements you'll need if you want to be in sync with us. So, in case there's something you don't have and don't know how to get, maybe this is a good time to watch my previous series. Any construction system requires regular-sized blocks that can be snapped together without leaving holes or any other kind of irregularities. So, first, we need to define the block size. I think 3 meters is a good size since most buildings' floors are around 3 meters high. Please go to the ProGrids window and change the snap increment to 3. Then, toggle snapping on. Open the ProBuilder window by going to the menu and selecting Tools, followed by ProBuilder, and finally, ProBuilder window. I'm going to dock it to the bottom panel. You can do the same if you wish. Let's create a new shape. Please, make sure to click on the plus sign to open the Shape Editor tool. If you click directly on New Shape, you will create a 1 by 1 by 1 cube, and that's not what we want right now. Please type 3 on the x-axis. 0.2 on the y-axis, 3 on the z-axis, and then click on Build to place the object on the scene. We will use this as our basic floor. Close the Shape Tool window to get it out of the way. In order for this system to work, all objects must have their pivot point at the bottom center. Which means we need to select the bottom face and then set the pivot at the center of that face. To do so, first, we need to make that face visible. Please press the Alt key and notice the mouse pointer becomes an eye. Drag the mouse up while holding the Alt key. The camera will move down while keeping the object centered. Keep dragging until you can comfortably see the bottom face. By default, the ProBuilder toolbar has Object Mode selected. When Object Mode is selected, only operations that affect the whole object are available. In order to be able to select the bottom face, we need to enable the Face mode. Please click on the Face mode icon. Click on the bottom face of the tile and observe how the face tools are now enabled. To set the pivot point at the center of this face, simply click on Set Pivot. Notice the position of the game object on scene hasn't changed. However, its transform has moved from 0, 0, 0 to 1.5, 0, -1.5, indicating the pivot point has effectively been updated. A transform is a component most game objects have. It allows us to set the position, orientation, and scale of the object inside the scene. We can click on the Transforms menu icon and reset it. When a transform is reset, the game object attached to it is moved to the scene's origin, which, as you may expect, is located at 3D coordinates 0, 0, 0. The rotation of the object is set to 0 in all axes, and it is scaled as set to 1 in all axes too. Currently our tile is named Cube, which doesn't give us a clear idea of its purpose. Let's change that. This tile will serve as both floor and ceiling, so we'll give it a name that reflects that. Please go to the hierarchy window, click on the cube game object, hit the F2 key, type floor - ceiling and hit enter. And with that, we're ready to save our first tile. But before we can do that, we need to create 2 folders to store the files. Please go to the project window. Right-click on the project folder and create a new folder. Name it Prefabs. Follow the same procedure to create another folder named Meshes. Go back to the ProBuilder window, select the tile, and click on the plus sign next to Export. Select Prefab for the export format. Click on Export. Double-click on Project. Double-click on Prefabs. And click on Save. Finally, close the Options window. Once saved, we can remove it from the scene. Click on the tile's name and then hit Delete. Let's do a quick test to understand how this system works. First, select the project window and go to the Prefabs folder. The first thing you'll notice is that there are two files instead of one. The file with the grid-like icon is a mesh asset. A mesh is a set of parameters that define the geometry of an object. It includes all the information required to calculate the object's shape. And a mesh asset is just the mesh data stored on disk. The file with the cube-like icon is our prefab. Prefabs are sets of components that implement certain functionality. Our prefab contains a mesh filter, which is then used by the mesh renderer to draw the object on screen. It also contains a mesh collider, which allows the object to simulate physical interactions with other objects. Both the mesh filter and the mesh collider require either a mesh primitive or a mesh asset loaded from disk. That's the reason why ProBuilder created two files when we saved the tile. To avoid confusion, we're going to move all mesh assets to their own folder. Please click on the mesh file, drag it to the mesh folder and drop it. To start our test, we need to drag the tile to the hierarchy window. We're going to be moving objects around the scene, and as we do, we may often need to adjust the view to find a more comfortable perspective. Please remember to hold the Alt key while dragging the mouse to orbit the camera around the focused object. Holding Ctrl plus Alt while dragging the mouse allows you to scroll, and the mouse wheel serves to zoom in or out. Back to our test. Let's build a simple 5x5 platform. The fastest way to do it is by cloning our tile and then repositioning the clone. Please click on the tile, press Ctrl D to duplicate it. Make sure the Move tool is enabled. If it is not, please select Object Mode on the ProBuilder toolbar. When this tool is enabled, you can see three arrows representing the three axes. The red arrow represents the x-axis, the green arrow the y-axis, and the blue arrow the z-axis. Go to the Scene window and drag the new tile along the x-axis to its desired position. To do so, click on the arrow, drag with the mouse, and drop. Repeat this process 3 more times. Now we have a 5 tiles row. Select the 5 tiles by clicking on the first tile and then on the last one while holding Shift. With the 5 tiles selected, press Ctrl D to duplicate them all. Drag the cloned row along the z-axis to its new position. Repeat this process 3 more times. And we're done with our platform. This is a very simple and easy way to assemble game levels, but there's a drawback with this approach. To render the scene, every surface facing the camera must be drawn, even if it's occluded by another surface. This is known as overdraw, and it can lead to performance issues on mobile devices. Please click on the Render menu on the Scenes toolbar and select Overdraw. The brightness represents the overdraw level. The darker color shows the areas that are drawn only once. The lighter colors represent areas that are drawn more than once. The lighter the color, the more overdraw. In a closer look, it's obvious that some areas are being drawn up to 3 times every frame, which is inefficient. From this perspective, this is a small problem, but if we move the camera to another position, the overdraw level can grow dramatically. On the next episode, I'll teach you how to minimize overdraw while still using tiles. For now, we'll just finish creating our basic tiles. Please change the render mode back to shaded. Let's clear the scene to continue with our work. Please select all the tiles and delete them by pressing the delete key. Go to the ProBuilder window. Create a new shape. This time, we need a block of 3 by 3 by 3, which we'll then turn into our basic wall. Build the block, and close the window. Since the floor is 0.2 meter thick, the wall needs to be 2.8 meters high, and because of that, to model our wall, we need to adjust the snap size. To do so, please go to the ProGrids window and change the snap increment to 0.2. Select Face Mode on the ProBuilder toolbar. Orbit around until you can see the bottom face. Select it. Click on Set Pivot. Carefully push it up so it moves one snap, or 0.2 meters. Because we changed the pivot point, we need to modify the snap size to adjust the wall's thickness. Please set it to 0.1. Orbit around once more to find a point of view where you can see the faces of the 3 axes. Select the face on the Z-axis and push it slowly until the wall thickness reaches 0.2 meters. If you're unsure, you can release the mouse and check your progress on the ProBuilder Mesh component. Click on the cube, press F2 to rename it. Type wall, and hit enter. And export it following the same procedure we used to export our previous tile. There are still more tiles to add to our system, but I'm afraid this is all the time I have for this episode. So, thanks for watching. In the next episode, we'll create more tiles and we'll also learn how to make them optimal. So please stay tuned. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and share. To create videos like this one requires lots of time and effort. You can support us in a free and easy way. Just subscribe to this channel and activate the notification bell. And don't forget to set it to all. That way I can notify you every time I upload a new episode. See you on the next episode. I'm April McQuinn. Cheers my darlings.